and they had children, and their children produced children, wouldn't some of the children have health problems? Does that mean that we're all actually related?
Okay, it's a big question. Let me start with the science side and what we've seen in science, and then move on to the Torah side. So scientists, by sequencing the DNA, recently basically have concluded that we are all indeed related, and we are all descendants from very few people. They concluded way back that all the Europeans were related, and now they've concluded that we're all related. And there is some diversity between us, but for example, in any two countries in Africa, there's about as much diversity as between Africa and the rest of the world. So that's what science has concluded. Now, what about interbreeding and it producing children that are not healthy? Well, we know that's a fact, but what actually happens? So there's a few examples for us to look at. One example is a population, I believe in Asia somewhere, where a typhoon hit and there were only 20, 40 survivors, and they were isolated. And within the survivors, a few of them had color blindness. And that population developed, and today 10% of the population is colorblind. Nonetheless, 90% is not colorblind. So the system was able to repair itself and have some healthy children. We also know from European aristocracy that many of those royal families intermarried and had all kinds of problems. But again, there were some healthy children born. So interbreeding does produce a lot of problems, but healthy children are born. Now, in the case of Torah, the thing is simpler, and here's why. So in Torah, we're all descendants of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, before they sinned, had Cain and Abel and 3 girls, 3 sisters. This is alluded to in Genesis, and Rashi explains it. And Hashem did a hesed that allowed Cain and Abel to marry their sisters and not have health problems. He allowed the population, made an exception and allowed the population to grow from that. So even if there were health problems in the Torah, God got rid of those for us. Then of course the population grew, and we get to the flood, and in the flood we start all over again with Noah's 3 sons and their wives, but their wives were not related. The 3 sons are brothers, but their wives are unrelated. And the population grew from them. So scientifically we know it's possible, but in the Torah, Hashem is actually helping the interbreeding not be a problem.